Hey guys, my name is Trenton Michael Davis and I am a grip and electric and occasionally a gaffer in the film and commercial industry. I've been doing this since 2017 and today I'd like to talk to you about the bare essentials that you need to bring with you on set. So if you're somebody who's looking to get into working in the industry, being on set, maybe it's your first time coming up, or maybe your third, fourth, fifth, maybe 10th time, and you're still looking for tools or just some ideas or whatever it might be, hopefully this is the video for you. So I'm gonna break it down to apparel. Absolute essential items that you need, the bare essentials. Then the essential items that you need. And then just a big bag of tools containing items that you will probably use maybe once or twice a year, but you'll be very, very happy that you have them when you have them. When you first get on set, it's very tempting to want to just load yourself up with gear, make yourself look legit. I promise you, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to work practically. You want to be functional. You don't want things to get in your way. So let's jump right into it. First things first, apparel. When you're on set, practicality is best. You want to be comfortable. You want to be able to breathe. You don't need to wear anything that's going to be hot, restricting. You need to be flexible. That's about it. There's not much to it. Just on set, be comfortable, be practical. It's not a fashion show. So when you're on set, you will work some of those hot summer days. So you're going to want to be prepared with a nice garden hat, or some sort of hat to block the sun off of your shoulders and your face, because these days get long and grueling and the last thing you want to do is destroy your skin or just become a sweat lodge. So have yourself a nice hat handy, block the sun. Have yourself a nice pair of glasses handy, also to block out the sun and them haters. Shirt-wise, normally I wear a black t-shirt that's just very light and breathable. I can work in it, I can flex in it. This shirt's a bad example. It is kind of restricting. It's tough to reach up, touch lights, because it just gets tight here in the seams. So this isn't the ideal shirt that you want to wear to a shoot. You're going to want to have yourself a nice, comfortable pair of pants. Like, I can't stress this enough. I've definitely come to enjoy wearing cargo style pants because there's pockets everywhere. And when you're on set, pockets are your best friend because you can store anything in them, whether it be sunscreen, my phone, clamps, ties, C47s. You can wear Levi's. Levi's are probably my last choice when it comes to running on set because I, for one, get very sweaty. Plan to wear them on lighter days, say if you're inside of a house. You only have a few setups, not much is happening, and you find yourself sitting for the most part. For the warm summer days, I also really like to wear cargo shorts. Practicality is the key when you're on set. Next thing, socks. Be sure to get yourself some breathable socks, maybe some moisture wicking socks, wool socks. Again, it just depends on the environment that you're going to be on. So you'll usually know ahead of time where your shoot is going to take place, whether it's going to be outside, in the desert, in the snow, in the rain, in the wet, whatever it's going to be. You'll typically know that ahead of time. So plan your footwear accordingly, and also keep an extra pair in your car. I normally start my day off with my favorite waterproof boots so far. These are the Vise Breeze. These don't breathe super well, but they are waterproof, they are sturdy, they are cushiony, they are comfortable. So I normally start my day off wearing these, and about halfway through, I'll probably swap over to just a pair of Nike sneakers. Something simple, breathable, feels really, really good when I finally get myself into these. Or you could just wear these all day long. Again, it just depends on the conditions of your shoot. If you're gonna be outside in a residential neighborhood, you can wear these all day, just fine. But if you're gonna be trekking in some gritty areas, go with these guys. What not to do is wear these guys. Going to a shoot isn't a fashion show. My first few sets, I wore these because they're boots. It's gonna do a good job. No, by the end of the day, my feet were killing me. It was absolutely painful. These things slip all over the place. It's not practical, so forget it. Go the practical route, get yourself some nice, decent shoes. Okay, so the next thing up is the absolute bare essentials. This is gonna be your first day on set. These are the things that you're absolutely going to wanna have with you. It's not many things, but it can get a lot of the jobs done. First thing is up, Gerber multi-tool. This is the one I use. You can get a Leatherman, you can get any multi-tool, but this has been my favorite so far. This is the MP600 model. With this multi-tool, you can do so much with it. The thing I like about this tool is it can be operated by one hand only. It's got all sorts of tools. It's got a cutting knife, another knife, it's got your Phillips, it's got your flatheads. It's just packed with tools. I love this thing so much. I use it constantly on set. This is the tool that I use the most out of any tool in my bag. It's amazing. Pick this bad boy up. Gerber MP600 multi-tool. You'll be thankful you have it. It's amazing. Get one. Absolute essential. Next up is the Gorilla Grip gloves. These are the most functional gloves I have used to date. I can tie knots with them. I can tighten up yokes. I can make adjustments on lights. These are the best gloves I've come across. Be sure to pick yourself up a 3 or 5 pack of these. I can't remember what they come in, but I think it's Home Depot that carries these ones. Another really nice thing I like to use is a glove holder. This just hangs off of my belt. What it does is you pinch your gloves or you clamp your gloves to it, and then this guy just clips onto your belt loop like so. Gotta grab my gloves, put them on. And then as soon as you're done with your gloves, hook that baby back up, continue working. So in addition to the Gorilla Grip gloves, be sure to have hot hand gloves. These can be just any thicker pair of utility gloves that you find at the department store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever. Be sure to get a pair of those so you don't burn your hands when you're dealing with hot lamps, hot lights. And the next essential item is your own surveillance kit. Most sets will have walkies. Typically, they are always using the Motorola branded ones with this connector at the end. I'll link it down below in the description, but you'll find that most sets use these, so it's always nice to have your own surveillance to go along with the walkies that production brings. So be sure to get yourself your own surveillance set. Next essential item, have yourself a little pouch of tools. I just clip it onto my belt right there and always have it at my side. I'm gonna go over each of the items in here, describe what they're used for. All right, first thing I have in here, this is an outlet tester. I've used this multiple times when I need to troubleshoot an electrical line that has gone down or figure out if an outlet has power. Simple as that. There's not much to this tool other than an indicator to tell you if you've got power. All right, next up in the utility pouch is a line tester. Get yourself one of these, super cheap on Amazon. I'll link it below. I use this to test electrical lines. Tells me if there's juice going through the line. Great for troubleshooting if you find yourself with power loss and you got to track it down to where it's blowing at, or maybe a line became disconnected. Next thing up, I like to have at least one cube tap on me at all times. It gives you 3 additional outlets to plug any units into. Always very handy to have these. Next thing up that I have, grounding adapters, also known as cheaters. These are really nice to have. Sometimes there are some lights and plugs that require them. You'll know it when you see it. You'll be glad that you have them. So be sure to have a good stockpile of those, especially when you're using, say, like cheap house extension cords that only have 2-prong outlets. And that's come in handy multiple times. Be sure to have a few of those in your bag. Next up, box cutter. I use this constantly for cutting gels, cutting fabrics, anything really. Great utility knife to have on hand. However, do not cut yourself like I did in my last shoot. Was not fun. Put me in the emergency room. Day 1 of the shoot, I had to deal with stitches for the next 3 weeks. It was probably one of the worst experiences in terms of losing my functionality. And have yourself a short little 6-in-1 stubby screwdriver. I love this screwdriver because it's got 6 different bits in it. Great little unit. I've got all the standard Phillips, flathead screws, different sizes. It's come in handy multiple times. Have one of those with you. Also have yourself a couple permanent markers. These are great to have for marking tape, making notes on sets, especially if you're running power into lunch boxes. And say you've got an M18 going into one outlet, you want to make sure you mark that outlet as a no-use outlet. So great to have markers just for those random reasons. And last thing is, be sure to have yourself an LED flashlight on set because you're gonna be working in dark environments and you don't wanna go working without a light, so be sure to get one of those. All right, that does it for the bare essential gear. Let's move on to the essential gear now. With me, I bring a bag like this on set. Anything that I don't have to keep on my body, I keep it in here. Starting with headlamps. Be sure you have yourself at least one headlamp. I've got two as a backup because sometimes the batteries die on these in the worst moments, and it's always nice to have a second one in your bag. Next up, tape measure. I don't use this frequently, but every now and then you need to measure cuts of gels, cuts of fabric, muslin, all that kind of stuff. And next up is your hex keys, otherwise known as Allen wrenches. You have your American, you have your metric, and you have your star end keys here. After that, as an electrician, make sure you have yourself some wire strippers and wire cutters. If you're on set creating custom length zip cord or lamp line, be sure to have one of these. It's gonna make your job stripping those wires so much easier. Very handy tool, have yourself a vise grip. Every once in a while, you'll find nuts and bolts that are loose, especially on some older lights. This is a great tool to have on hand because you can make it work with almost any size bolt that you need it to. Clamp it down, crank it tight, or loosen, whatever you need to do. It's quick, it's amazing. Next up, I always have a battery bank with you. There are so many times when my cell phone is dying or is already dead. It's nice to have a fully charged battery bank ready to plug your phone into. Next up, dust mask. I decided to get one of these when I was working in a very dusty and dirty attic on a music video one time. I had to use my shirt to try to get the job done. It wasn't fun, but I really wish that I had these at the time, so pick some of these up. Also, knee pads, especially during the setup and rigging phase of a shoot. You wanna have some knee pads if you're on the ground, putting together lights, putting together frames, speed rail, dolly track, whatever it might be. These are really nice to have. Kind of going out of order with this one, but sunscreen. Have yourself some sunscreen for those hot summer days. Last thing you wanna do is burn your skin and put yourself at risk. Another nice thing to have in your essentials kit are a few random grip clips and spring clamps. Typically production provides these in the rental. However, sometimes none are nearby and you know you've got a few in your bag and it's just nice to reach for those and have them. All right, now for the last bit of this is gonna go over some of the tools that I've used maybe once or twice a year, but when I do have them, I'm very grateful that I do have them, and so is everybody else on set. So, with me in my car or somewhere in the very farthest corner of set, I always have, oh boy, I have this big boy. This is my big tool bag. You can see how big this thing is compared to me. It's gigantic, right? This holds everything. Everything and anything that I need to have with me. Even if I don't need it at that exact moment, I know it's nearby, whether it be in my car or just in the back of the set somewhere. In here, I like to have things like hammer, a larger flashlight, a spare leveler for all you dolly grips out there, maybe a smaller leveler. I like to have all my random screwdrivers, random pliers. You kind of get the idea. This tool bag is essentially my garage. I've got wrenches in here, I've got more grip clips, ratchet tie downs. This bag has everything that my smaller bag does not. A couple other extremely handy things to have with you on set. The Set Lighting Technician's Handbook. Let's see, what can we find in here? Power and distribution, lunch boxes, cam lock, banded cables, snake bites. It goes over all these, what they're used for, multimeter testing, securing knots to cables, how to rig a condor. This book is just chock full of fantastic information, and it's so simply put too. Pictures, diagrams, and all the descriptions, just super easy to understand. Pick this guy up, the Set Lighting Technician's Handbook. You can get these for 25 to 50 bucks, depending on where you find them. So worth it. As a grip, get yourself the grip book. This book discusses a lot of grip rigging, knots, random parts and pieces and tools that you can use on set. The grip book, love it. All right guys, so with all this said, don't feel like you need to have every single one of these tools by your side or on you at all times. I find that I might use only 10% of all the tools that I have throughout an entire shoot. For the most part, I just keep this utility pouch on me. Everything I have in here mixed with my Gerber will get me through an entire shoot. Well, that does it. I hope you guys found at least some sort of useful information in this video. If not, comment down below what I could have done better, or if you guys have any other ideas of what I can change in my own setup. Let me know if there's something out there that I'm missing. I love learning new things and discussing new ideas. Yeah, thank you guys. Jeez, can't talk anymore. This has been a long one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.